Welcome back to The Mystery with Marley and Jensen. Like and follow our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and text or email who you think did it to jensen@jensenday.com. And remember, don't reveal the mystery. It was the first day of summer. It was sunny and 75 outside, and Ryan Smith was ready to start his first day as a bank teller at Day to Day Bank. This was Ryan's first grown-up job, so he felt pressure to prove himself. He wore a suit and tie, put gel in his hair, and used the nice cologne his grandparents got him for Christmas. He knew he could do the job well, but he couldn't help but feel a little bit like an imposter of an adult. Sam and Daisy were just a few weeks away from getting married, and they were trying to get all the important things done before their wedding, so they could really relax during their honeymoon. The young couple had been together for over 4 years. They were so excited to get married, move in together, and start a life. One major step was combining their finances, so they went to the Day-to-Day Bank to open up a joint bank account. The Pierce family had just celebrated a major milestone as their son Jace had just graduated high school. Jace got lots of money from family and friends and needed to deposit a few checks. He wanted to do it right away so he could start using up his graduation money. Since Jace was in a wheelchair, he and his parents went to the bank together to deposit his money. Ryan arrived early that morning for his first day. He was pleasantly greeted by his boss, who also arrived early. He directed Ryan where to go and went on his way. After a few minutes of hanging out awkwardly, a couple other tellers arrived, and they were able to help Ryan out, and his nerves calmed. His coworkers walked him through the computer system and how to open the bank, and the day begun. About an hour had passed, and only a few people had come in. This was good for Ryan so he could be trained on other things like the drive-through window and different types of deposits. Around 11, things started picking up. And that's when bright-eyed Sam and Daisy walked into Day-to-Day Bank to open their account. Ryan greeted them and directed them to another teller who could further help them. The couple was escorted to a desk around the corner, and Ryan was going to get to watch and learn how the process worked. Jace Pierce, with his parents, Chad and Darla, walked through the heavy glass doors into Day-to-Day Bank. They were greeted by a long line to the singular open cashier window. Jace rolled his eyes and told his parents they should just come back later. "No, I'm sure it won't take that long, and I don't want to get back out again," his mom urged. Chad continued, "Yeah, look, here comes another teller now. We can just get in his line." The teller helping Sam and Daisy had noticed the line forming at the cashier window and asked Ryan if he felt comfortable enough to go help her out. He didn't really feel comfortable, but he knew saying no wasn't really an option. So he went to one of the open windows and decided he could fake it till he made it. The woman at the other window gave him a thankful look, and he nodded back. The first few transactions were simple, and people were nice when Ryan moved slow and asked them for their account number 3 or more times. After about 5 customers, Ryan felt like he had the hang of things. Maybe he'd only have to ask the next customer how to spell their name twice. But he never had the chance to ask for their name. The person approached Ryan's cashier window in a tan-colored hoodie and light-wash jeans, a New York Yankees baseball cap, and round glasses. Before Ryan could ask how their day was, they had slipped him a folded-up sticky note, which read, "I have a 12-year-old girl in my truck. Give me $50,000 or she dies." Ryan was obviously stunned and horrified. He had not even been trained on what to do in these situations yet. Every movie with a bank robbery was running through his head. He felt under the desk for a silent alarm button. Nothing. He still hadn't spoken. His mind was absolutely reeling. The robber spoke softly. "No ink packs, no alarms, I'm watching." Then he looked down at his phone in an attempt to blend in. At that, Ryan nodded his head. He stood there for a second, and his eyes darted around. He hoped that at this moment he and anyone nearby would develop telepathy with one another. He turned his head to see if the teller helping Sam and Daisy would catch his eye. The 3 of them stood shaking their hands where Ryan couldn't even see the teller's face. He turned his head the other way to the teller working the window a couple over from him, but she and her customer were laughing at something Ryan thought couldn't possibly be that funny. The Pierce family was directly behind the robber. Jace was getting annoyed with how long the individual in front of them was taking. Chad didn't respond, but he had took notice that the two hadn't even really talked to each other. He watched the encounter intently. Finally, Ryan realized he was just going to have to do what the man asked. He took a paper bag and put the money in it. He was moving rather frantically, and the robber calmly told him to slow down. Ryan did, but his hand still shook. He wondered to himself how no one around had taken notice of their suspicious exchange. Unflinching, Ryan handed the money to the robber, who took it and calmly turned to walk out the front door. And then, chaos. A deafening bang filled the building as a single shot rang out. Screams followed. Ryan opened his eyes, assuming somehow someone noticed and shot down the robber. But no. He lifted his head to see his boss, the bank owner, Elijah Long, laying in the doorway in a puddle of blood. The robber disappeared among a crowd of other escaping customers. The alarms rang out as one of the tellers screamed for someone to call 911. Ryan stood frozen, note in hand. Police and paramedics arrived minutes later. Mr. Long was dead, shot once cleanly in the chest. No one had seen who fired the shot. No one saw a gun. The surveillance footage was fuzzy. The main entrance camera had been tampered with. The others caught only vague outlines. The robber's face remained a mystery. There were many people in Day-to-Day Bank that afternoon, supposedly happy families and couples celebrating big moments in their lives. But not everything is as it seems. Someone is hiding something. Remember to like and follow our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and text or email who you think did it to jensen@jensenday.com.